All right, so today's lesson, we're still going to be using sine, cosine, and tangent. Today, we're going to use it to find angles of triangles. So it'll be pretty short lesson, pretty easy assignment. So let's just get right into it. So remember, with sine, cosine, tangent, we're using right triangles. Just a little refresher, the three sides we look at it is we always have the hypotenuse, which is opposite of the 90-degree angle. Opposite side is across from your angle. And then adjacent is the one that's touching your angle, but not obviously the hypotenuse. So remember we have our ratios, sine being opposite over hypotenuse, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent opposite over adjacent, which if you make an acronym again is SO for sine, and then CA for cosine, and TOA for tangent. So yeah, finding angles. Let's get right into it. So to find an angle, so here we want to find angle x. We see we have the opposite side here, and then we have the hypotenuse here. Oh, come on. Must have a dead spot on my pad. So since we have opposite and hypotenuse, we're going to use sine. So sine of x equals the opposite 8 over hypotenuse 11. So we want to solve for this x. So what we do is we create an inverse function. We've talked about that a little bit this year. So really it's just inverse sine of 8 over 11 is going to equal our x. So to do that, we just simply go on our calculator. Again, if you're getting weird answers, make sure your mode is in degrees here. So if we quit out of that, it's pretty simple. It's just going to be second and then sine. That's where you see the sine -1 there. And then you just type in your fraction, 8 divided by 11. And then hit enter. So delta has you go to the nearest degree, so we'll just do that so we get used to it. So 46.65 would round up to 47. So 47 degrees would be the measure of x there. So we'll just do a few more examples, and you get an assignment, and you can be done with math for the day. So let's just start out here, number 1. So we have from our x, we have opposite and adjacent. So that is tangent. So we're going to have inverse tangent. Opposite over adjacent, so 13 over 4. And then that would approximately be, so again, like I said, really easy. So second tangent, and then 13 over 4. So to the nearest degree would be 73 degrees. All right, next up, so now we got opposite and hypotenuse. So we're using sine and inverse sine since we're finding an angle. The only time you use inverse sine is when you're finding an angle, by the way. Opposite over hypotenuse, so 5 over 22. And we're going to get an approximate answer there. So second sine, 5 over 22. So about 13 is our answer there to the nearest degree, which makes sense because the little angle, right? So it's also a good thing. Not that your triangles are always to scale, but pay attention to that. Does that measure actually make sense for that angle? Finally, okay, now we got an adjacent side to x here and hypotenuse. So probably guessed we're going to use cosine now. So inverse cosine and adjacent over hypotenuse, so 7 over 12. So we're going to approximate that guy. Second cosine. And enter. So we get 54.3, so about 54 degrees. So that is all we're going over today. So again, like I said, like I promised, really simple. We're on delta again, unless you're doing paper copies. You'll just do the same amount of problems, same type of problems, just on paper. So this is really easy stuff. Just get it done. It's easy points, guys. So there you go. Have a good rest of your day.